listening to the MMA Brothers Podcast, coming to you from Toronto, Ontario, Canada. Your source for UFC news, previews, and post-fight coverage. Hosted by your favorite duo, Daryl and Asher. Let's get it started.
What's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of the MMA Brothers Podcast. My name is Asher, and today we have a guest with us. He's somebody that's been on the podcast before. His name is Gathan. Gathan, how are you doing?
I'm good, mate. How are you?
Good. So for those who don't know, Gathan, he's a nutritionist. He's worked with the likes of some UFC fighters like Darren Till and like Tom Aspinall. And before we get into some fight talk, Gathan, how you doing?
I'm not too bad, mate. Not too bad at all. How are you? How was your new year? All good?
So far, so good. I can't complain too much. Obviously, it's not the most ideal circumstances for everybody, but, you know, we're hanging in there trying to wait for everybody to get vaccinated so we can get back to normal life, you know?
Yeah. We won't go into the anti-vax talks or anything like that, but I've talked about it, covered briefly before. If it means carrying on with life and being able to sit there having a pint watching the UFC, then, do you know what I mean?
Whatever it takes, right?
In a bath full of it.
Yeah, I know. I don't want to get the anti-vaxxers going, but like, yeah, I meant that from a point of view of just like returning back to normalcy this summer, right? So that's what's on everybody's agenda. But glad to hear that you're doing all right. In terms of like, you know, business, nutrition, how's all that going?
So I've changed around a little bit. So I've been doing my personal training course as well. So I've been including the full package in it now, helping as many people as possible. I had a couple of fighters since the last time we spoke. I've had Sam Eglinton fight. He had a 6th round knockout, I think. Is that what I'm right? Robert Duran Jr. a couple of weeks ago, 1st round knockout. Obviously, we'll go into the Tom's announcement. That's obviously coming up. So yeah, the fighters that I've been not as active with them, been helping a lot of the general public a lot more now as well, with a PT and helping physical training and everything. So yeah, it's going good. I say lockdown and stuff like that. People need to look after themselves and understand that it's a marathon, not a sprint.
Yeah, no, 100%. But like you had mentioned, there's some news that broke with Tom Aspinall. So what are you referring to?
Do you know what? I was really hoping to just drop a little seed tonight and just say it's on its way out, but we got beat to it really. So yeah, fighting Arlovsky, someone who's been at the very, very top, fought the best. Listen.
Former UFC world champion, obviously, right? Heavyweight champ.
I know. And could be controversial saying it, but this is his last UFC fight when he goes to Bellator after this. This is going to be... Listen, what a fight. Get him out there quick.
Yep.
Experienced fighter. And you know what? It's going to show how good Tom is now. It's really going to show where he is in that top 15 rank. I think Arlovsky's ranked 15th or 17th, something like that. Am I right?
Yeah, I just wanted to double check what his ranking was, but go ahead.
Just got into 15. I'm pretty sure 17 because he beat Tanabosa and is it Linz?
Linz. Yeah, that's right. He's on a 2-fight win streak.
2-fight win. So, but yeah, again, Tom's on a 5-fight win. So the momentum, and I think it'd be good for Tom to have a couple of rounds against him. But obviously, that win is a must, and I think get a win bonus, a win and a bonus. I mean, you're looking at top 8, 9. Then, aren't you? You're looking at the likes of Derek Lewis, Rosenstruck, Dos Santos. Is he still top? Do you know what I mean? No, I wouldn't say quite yet. You're looking at Ngannou, John Jones, and Stipe. I think they're another few fights away. But listen, you get him out there early. You get on the microphone and rock it. You've seen fighters do it now. Do you know what I mean? They're coming out, getting the win, going straight on the microphone, and they're doing what they need to be done. So yeah, I can't see anything but a Tom win, and I think it's going to be an early knockout. Really think he's going to catch him. I don't know if Arlovski's got the speed to keep up with Tom's hands. So yeah, obviously I'm going to be biased about it as well. So
no, I mean, like you said, like if you think about it, like Tom's on a 5-fight win streak, like you had mentioned, Arlovski's on a 2, and then if there's one thing that everybody knows about Arlovski is that he's not known to be taking heavy punches lately, and Tom's got some good hands, right? So if I'm a betting man, I'm definitely putting my money on Aspinall for sure. So don't worry, it's not like you're biased. I do think that's an actual educational decision. But like you said, if he wins this fight, that would be 6 straight wins for him, and then he can call out the likes like a Derek Lewis or like a Cyril Gane. Like you said, maybe not like the top 3 or 4 of the division yet, like the Ngannou's, the Stipe's, the John Jones, maybe a Curtis Blades, because somebody like a Curtis Blades, he's somebody that's been on the outside looking in, because he's had those 2 losses obviously to Ngannou, and there's obviously Ngannou next against Stipe, and then after that there's John Jones. So somebody like a Curtis Blades seems like he's looking for somebody else to fight, and he's beaten everybody else in the heavyweight division except Tom Aspinall. So that would be a cool fight to watch as well.
Am I right in thinking that Derek Lewis and Curtis Blades is the main event for that card?
I don't know if it's that card, but I did hear of that fight being announced.
I'm pretty sure it's the same event. Same night. And so is Spivak as well. He's fighting on that night as well. So you've got 3 big heavyweight fights already. I've not really looked into the card too much. But not just Tom as well. You've got Mike Grundy in 2 weeks. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
He's fighting Nick Lenz.
Right.
Which, Nick Lenz. So yes, which is a massive fight. Once again, Mike. I hope all the best to Mike, and I think he's going out in a couple of days. So I wish Mike all the best out there. And I don't expect anything other than a win and possibly even a bonus, because he's got a point to prove, I think, and I think he's going to go out there and prove that he is an elite, because he is an athlete. I mean, he is an athlete. When he's in camp, out of camp, whatever, he is in great shape. And I think the last fight is his jaw in the first round. I think I'm right. I mean, if you snap your jaw or whatever he did to his jaw, I mean, it does put you off. And obviously, I've never snapped my jaw or anything, but
you're not speaking from first-hand experience.
No, I can imagine it being a little painful and a bit uncomfortable. So I think he's going to go out there and he's going to show his worth and show he deserves to be in that top 15, top 10 by the end of the year. And doing it, some great cards coming up, eh?
There's a lot of good cards coming up. Go ahead.
No, go on.
No, I was just gonna say, who do you have for the Calvin Kattar Max Holloway fight?
You know what? I really like Calvin Kattar. Really like him. Really, really like him. I think he's underrated. And I think he could be pushing for the title by the end of the year. There's some massive fights. I mean, you've got I don't know what, I'd really like Holloway to move up to 155 and have a blast at that instead of the 145. But yeah, again, what a matchup. Like that week, there's 3 big cards, isn't there? So I'm really gutted that Leon Edwards is not fighting
Chimaev,
yeah. I just think that if Chimaev's a real deal, that is a perfect fight. But I also hope that Rocky puts him down a peg. Do you know what I mean? I just think that it's the same with Conor. People want Conor to lose just because he's such a hype train. I mean, a lot of people watch the fights just for him, and I think people are starting to jump on that train with Chimaev. So it's that I want him to do well, but I'd love to see how he reacts to a loss as well. So, but yeah, I think Calvin Kattar beats Holloway on decision, split decision. I think it's gonna be close. It'll be a bloodbath.
Yeah, I honestly, I don't know how tough Cater is, because like you know how Max Holloway like puts that pressure on you. See, what he's done to people like Jose Aldo. See, what he's done to people like Brian Ortega. Like obviously the Volkanovski fights, it didn't quite go his way and they were close, but what I'm just trying to say is Max Holloway is a dog, you know what I mean? So like, and he can take a shot. So like, I know Calvin Kattar has good boxing and stuff, but you've never seen. I don't even think I've seen Max Holloway knocked down. Like I've seen him like get hit hard by like people like Dustin Poirier. I've seen him like get tagged by like even like Jose Aldo with huge uppercuts and stuff. But Max has never fallen. He's fought like Conor McGregor, like heavy hitters, Jeremy Stevens, all of them. No one has been able to drop Max Holloway, which is insane. So I find it hard to believe that Calvin Kattar is going to be the guy to do it, even though he's got some good boxing skills. And then, like I said, like with Max's toughness, with like the way he fights, he always moves forward and stuff. Calvin Kattar is going to have to like retreat a lot in that fight. I don't know. I just find it hard to believe that Calvin Kattar's got the goods to win, but he has looked good in his last few performances, right? And Calvin Kattar is, I think, he was in a main event in his last fight against what's that guy's name? I can see his face, but I forgot his name. Pardon?
I can picture the thing because I remember it.
Yeah. It's all good, but you know, we both know who we're talking about. But anyways, Calvin Kattar, this is the biggest fight of his career, so I'm curious to see how he's gonna handle the pressure. But I'm picking Max Holloway to win that one. But I do agree that I do want to see Max Holloway move up. I don't want to see him fight at featherweight anymore. Like, yeah, he could fight Volkanovski or the winner of Ortega versus Volkanovski, but he's already beat Ortega, and in many people's eyes, he's already beat Volkanovski. So what is he hanging around for? There's Zabit, Yair Rodriguez, and Calvin Kattar. Those are pretty much the only people that he hasn't fought. And then after that, it's just like, what else are you doing in the division? Like a lot of people consider you the GOAT of the division, or maybe Aldo in some people's eyes. But then just move up. Once this fight's done, if you win it, just say, you know what, man, I'm not gonna wait around for Volkanovski. I already beat him, you know. I already beat Ortega. So like, what's the point? I'm just gonna move up to 155 and try to get the belt there. I think that would be a lot of fun to watch.
So Calvin Kattar last fought Dan Ige.
Yes, Dan Ige. I remember that's the name.
Dan Ige,
yeah.
But one fight that really, really stands out for me, and I think that it is a perfect first fight for him. Dan Hooker, Michael Chandler. Dan Hooker is probably the most underrated fighter in that roster.
I think Dan Hooker is a big problem too, just so because of his length, right? Like he's got like long arms, he's really insanely tough. When I think of him against Edson Barbosa, like how he didn't go down earlier was insane. And then if you think about his last fight against Dustin Poirier, was insane too. So yeah, Dan Hooker is not an easy go for Michael Chandler in his first UFC fight. He's tall, he's lanky, he's long, and he's a tough guy, and he can hit hard too. So it's gonna be a tough one for him, but I can't wait for that one too.
Yeah, I think, you know what? That could have been a main event on its own. That could be 100% main event on its own, and I think that they should have put that on the Wednesday night as the main event over Magny. I think they should have swapped them about, but I think it's just that lightweight division is just getting unbelievable, and I kind of get what they're doing with middleweights as well and light heavyweights with moving Izzy up. And I saw today that Dana said that Whittaker's not getting the next title shot.
Yeah, I read that headline. I don't know what Dana has against Whittaker.
So if you look at that middleweight, you've got Kevin Holland still active and calling everyone out. Kevin Holland is going to be probably fighting for the title after one, maybe two more wins. He's fighting in March, isn't he? He's fighting soon.
Yeah, Derek Brunson. That's right. He's fighting Derek Brunson.
Those two fighting. You've got Verotti. Is it Marvin Verotti?
Vittori, yeah.
Vittori. He's just smoked Jack Manson. Doing that was an incredible performance. You've got Till, who's currently on his way back, injury, no fight confirmed. You've got Paulo Costa. I don't know what the go is with him. I mean, you've got so many middleweights that are going to be waiting about for Izzy now because he's fighting Yan in March. Well, he's not going to fight again until what? End of the year? October? So I think I think that they should throw an interim belt into that mix.
Yeah, I could see why you would think that, but like when was the last time Adesanya and Costa fought? Was that like in October? I can't
Yeah,
remember when that was. Like I think October, November, around that time.
yeah,
So I think, yeah, depending on like, but the thing is, Adesanya is a very active guy. I feel like the UFC actually tries to make sure he doesn't fight too much because I think he's always been the type of guy who's like, yeah, give me 2 months, I can fight again. Like, you know what I
yeah,
mean? Like he's one of those guys. Um, so I do think the UFC will probably not make an interim title, but then again, maybe they would because it sounds of it like they don't want to like give Robert Whitaker a title shot. So if you're
yeah.
gonna do an interim title, who else wouldn't you give it to other than Robert Whitaker, right? Give it Robert Whitaker, and then maybe
Do a
I don't
little like
even know.
middleweight tournament sort of thing when you've got Kevin Holland now fighting Brunson. You'd have Till against Marvin Verratti, sorry,
Mm,
Vittori, sorry. You'd have Paulo Costa, Whitaker. You'd start putting the mix together and start eliminating. You'd have Jack Hermanson fighting. So as I say, I'm not too sure of the 6 to 10 sort of rankings.
mhm,
So you could make a little lightweight middleweight competition there.
mm.
So no one's really waiting about. And do you know what? I just think that Kevin Holland's a real threat to that division, and he's just like he wanted to fight Rocky Edwards a couple of weeks ago. He was saying,
Mhm.
I'll meet you at catchweight. I'll meet you in the middle." You're like, do you know what? He deserves the credit because he's fought 5 times in 7 months or something stupid.
5 wins, yeah.
That, do you know what I mean? That's incredible for any fighter in the middle of this pandemic and everything like that. And he's ready to go every time. And a lot of fighters do get the thing of staying ready. So they're not too far off weight. They're ready. Others don't. And then, for example, Rocky missing 2, 3, 4 fights last year because he wasn't ready. I think that could cost him the title for quite a while because
Mhm.
you have to have. And I know he's on something like 11 fight win, 9 fight win, something like that.
Something crazy, yeah.
And his name is not being mentioned because he's not active enough. You've got likes of Gilbert Burns, Usman. Like Gilbert Burns ready to fight whenever. Obviously fighting Usman now, which that's a good fight, but just can't see past Usman at the moment. That
Yeah.
Usman just an animal.
I just don't understand why that fight has been delayed so many times. Like I know like one of them got COVID. I think that's Burns. But like since then, like why like that was like 3, 4 months ago. Unless like there's some lingering effects from the COVID. Like it should have been rescheduled like a month later. So I don't know. I'm not his doctor, but like I thought it was just strange how it took so long,
Yeah,
because I think the fight was scheduled for like November or December, then I got pushed again, and now it's what, March, or when are they fighting? In
February.
February? February? Yeah.
But I think that they were waiting for that to be a UFC event, not a fight night. So obviously,
Uh
with Conor being in January, and then so do you mean? So I think
scheduling.
that because we had Izzy on one of them. We had didn't we have December the 12th? There was 3 title fights.
Hmm.
I think I'm right. So yeah, I think they were waiting and I can't wait to see Conor back. If it's the motivated Conor that looks like it is, we're in for a show.
Before we get to that fight, Chiesa
That
versus
would be it.
Chiesa versus what's his name? Neil Magny. Who do you have in that fight?
I feel that Neil Magny's become a bit of a gatekeeper, and I think it's been undeservedly. I think he's very underrated. But I don't know. I think that Magny does him. I really do think that Magny's got it in him.
Hmm.
I'd say I've not really watched much of Chaser. Not really seen not really, not really kept up with him, to be honest. So it'd be very, I couldn't say against him, but I wouldn't back him if that makes sense to you. So yeah, I'd probably go with Magny in that one. Obviously, I think is it February Molly McCann's fighting as well.
Mhm.
So that's Brett going out. So yeah, we're doing all right with the Brits. I think there's some fights being scheduled and it's starting to move. I think hasn't Arnold Allen got a fight coming up as well?
I'm not sure about him, but he might. I haven't looked at the schedule.
I remember I might have read a rumor or something that might not be confirmed yet. So we'll leave that one.
Yeah, but yeah, for that fight, like I mean, Chiesa's looked damn good, like at 170. He said his days at 155 were over. He's gained a lot of muscle since his lightweight days, and good for him because like I don't want to see every fighter having to cut weight, especially when the weight gap is like 15 pounds between divisions. Like when it's 10 pounds, maybe you can be like, yeah, maybe you can push it, but like when it's 15, then it gets a little tough, especially when the fighter's already lean, right? So,
Yeah.
um. So Chiesa has moved up to 170 and he's had some good fights. He fought Carlos Condit and he fought another guy. He got another win at 170. I'm trying to remember who it was. Was it against Dos Anjos, if I'm not mistaken?
I'm not too sure.
Yeah. But like he's had a few wins under his belt at 170, and now he's fighting Neil Magny, who's also been active and he's won his last few fights. So this is a good fight for Chiesa. But I think I'm going to pick Chiesa to win that fight. I know Neil Magny's been there, done that. He's very experienced, but I just feel like Chiesa is just going to take him down and then be able to handle him on the ground. That's my guess.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
I say I've not really watched too much of Michael Chiesa.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've not really watched much of him, so I think it'd be unfair for me to rule him out. But if you were to say, right, you have to pick one, I'd go for Magny just because I'm more aware of him, to be honest with you. But I just think that, excuse me, over the next couple of months, I think that the UFC are going to throw out some huge fights. Like it's just going to be like this now all through the year. They're just going to constantly roll fight after fight. And I think that between Vegas and Fight Island, they'll just keep going from one place to the other and just keeping everyone happy, I think.
Yeah, I'm excited for it. I actually don't even know how, like, so going back to the McGregor card, I don't know how Dana is planning to do this whole thing with fans because he said that he wants a crowd for the McGregor fight, and that's in like what, like not 2 weeks from now. Is it 2 weeks? About 2 weeks away, which is kind of insane. So like 15, 16 days away. So there hasn't been any news coming out talking about how like the fan thing is going to work, and I don't think I've seen any links for tickets on sale. So I don't know what's going on with that.
From what I'm aware of it's going to be it's a closed thing in Dubai or Fight Island, or whatever. So it's going to be a certain amount of people that are going to be in the arena. It won't be like a full fan thing. But also on the other hand, apparently the cases in Dubai just none. So I don't know, because at one point when I first heard that, I mean, everyone. I remember being in the restaurant. And I was checking my phone, and one of the lads like, "Check how much tickets are for. Let's have a look. Let's have a look." I just couldn't get anything. Some form of information like that there should be fans, and Dana wants fans there. But listen, they're charging you $70 for a pay-per-view.
Yeah, I know prices are going up, but yeah, in terms of or maybe they could have like a crowd, maybe just for like the locals, right? Like maybe people in Abu Dhabi are the only ones that are going to be allowed to come in and not fly fans in. Because I remember Dana was talking about flying people in, but I don't think that's going to happen. But yeah, let's talk about that. So McGregor versus Dustin Poirier, who are you picking in that fight?
I think McGregor's going to get to his head, but it's a different Poirier. People can't sleep on Poirier. Cannot sleep on him. He is a different man to the boy McGregor last faced. He was a young lad. So I think that both of them come into this completely different. And if Connor's as motivated and as serious as what I think he looks like he is, I think it'll be a real problem for Poirier. So do you know what? I'm going to go with I'm being a typical thing here, but I'm going to go with McGregor, yeah. And I think that fight week alone will just be brilliant. I think that they were talking about they wanted pool parties and all this and everything, didn't they? Dana was like, we'll have pool parties, we'll have this, we'll have the events, we'll have everything going on. If they can throw that, then that will be a fight week and a half to be at. But I think McGregor needs the fans there, I think.
Yeah, it'll be hard to watch a McGregor fight with like no crowd. It's gonna be weird, but it is what it is. And in terms of like who I think is gonna win that fight, I do think McGregor is gonna win it for a few reasons. I've been seeing his Instagram, like he's so ripped right now, and he seems super focused, like he's never been before. I didn't like the way he was against the Khabib even before the fight started. I was just like, I don't like his demeanor, like he was drinking proper 12 in the press conferences and like just the way he was. Like I was like, I'm not liking this version of Conor McGregor. In versus Cowboy, he seemed to be way too relaxed. I was like, like I don't know, like he doesn't seem like interested in this fight at all, but obviously he smoked him in 40 seconds. So this fight we haven't seen any press conferences. I'm actually surprised they haven't done one yet, but I'm sure there's going to be some fight week stuff that you're going to see a bunch of obviously embeddeds and press conferences and all this different stuff, but all the promotion is going to happen the week of the fight. So at that point, I guess I'll be able to make a better validation of what I see between both fighters. But like just the way Conor hits and you see Poirier getting tagged as well, like I just don't think it's going to be good for him. And Conor McGregor can take a shot. I know like a lot of people think that like, Nate Diaz rocked him and stuff like that, but I just don't see Dustin Poirier landing that one punch to knock out Conor McGregor, or at least TKO him. So unless it goes later into the fight in the fourth or fifth rounds, Poirier I think has a better gas tank than Conor McGregor, and his fighting style, McGregor is there to finish the fight in the first round or two. So if that doesn't happen for McGregor early in the fight, then I can see Poirier winning a decision. Other than that, I don't see Poirier winning by TKO.
I 100% agree with you. I just think Connor's won the fight. Connor's usually won the fight before getting into the octagon. And will no press conferences, face-to-face, media days, stuff like that, I don't know what the schedule is, but if they haven't got that, will that affect McGregor because he can't get it to his head? Will he be sat there on Instagram messaging him, trying to get to his head? Do you know what I mean? Is that sort of thing? That's the sort of thing McGregor does. He'll go on social media and he'll call people out and he'll he'll try and get into people's skin. But it looks like I don't think Poirier will allow that to happen this time around because last time he did. And at that weigh-in, when they weighed in, Poirier's head was gone. He was too invested emotionally into it, not physically. So I think that this time round, I think Poirier will have learned his lesson. I don't think the outcome will be any different. I think that, and I think that there's so much on this now. I think that the fact that McGregor knows that Khabib is retired, that belt, I can guarantee you there'll be a belt on that fight. There'll 100% be a belt.
Yeah, because by the time that press conference or by the time that fight happens, Dana would have spoken to Khabib, and I know the media is going to ask him, so there's this meeting, what happened? And then if they say, oh, I don't know, if Khabib didn't confirm, then it's like, oh, then why is there no interim title? Like, well, you know what I mean? They're going to question Dana a lot, so Dana's definitely going to have an answer for whether or not Khabib is retired or not.
And the way I see it, if Khabib is retired, okay, McGregor loses to Poirier. Okay, let's just say that this happens. Khabib stays retired. There's only one real super fight I think that McGregor can make this year after, and that is to open a 162.5 weight class with GSP. And that is like the biggest money fight after, unless he wins this fight and goes back to the Khabib fight and brings him out of retirement.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's the only worthy fight sort of thing of him, because you can go and fight the Chandlers and the Hookers and stuff, but it doesn't really excite you as McGregor GSP or McGregor Khabib too. Do you know what I mean? Like, come on, we'll watch that, but you'll watch any McGregor fight because you just know it's going to be entertainment. But I just think that if he was to lose this fight, the only fight making sense is GSP. And I know it sounds really hypothetically talking, but which two of the massive characters of the sport would open up a new weights class?
You're right. I just don't think Dana is a fan of that fight. And GSP, I don't know. He seems like half in, half out. But if you look at his Instagram, he's ripped, and he looks like the leanest I've ever seen him before. He looks even like leaner than he was at 170. So,
Yeah.
I don't know what he's walking around at. My guess is probably like 175, because like I remember GSP when he fought at welterweight, he was much thicker than he is now. So he must be at least close to 170. So maybe, and it's kind of insane because he's 39, he's almost 40, and he's looking that good. So yeah, I don't know. I would love to see the GSP Khabib fight. I don't know if that's going to happen. I'm sure that's on Khabib's wish list as well. So depending on how this fight goes, Dana has obviously said that like he wants McGregor to fight Khabib next, so he doesn't really seem to care too much about Khabib versus GSP. So if you were to ask Dana, or if McGregor wins, 100% McGregor is getting it over GSP, especially if it's Khabib's last fight. Because if it's Khabib's last fight, it's going to be Conor Khabib too. As much as Khabib wants GSP, I just don't think it's going to happen.
So come to the end of 2021, who's going to have that lightweight belt?
I think I don't think it'd be Khabib, because I think Khabib how can I say, I don't know if Khabib is still gonna hang around. But I want to say McGregor, but I don't want to be a fanboy, you know? Like I want to like be objective and think about who it's gonna be. I'm gonna guess. Oh, this is a tough one. I'm gonna guess McGregor, just because of like how dedicated he looks on Instagram, how ripped he looks, and then if Khabib stops fighting, they're gonna give, you know, obviously McGregor a tighter shot against somebody, and so I think McGregor is going to be champ at the end of 2021. That's my guess.
Yeah, I can't disagree. I think Gaethje's a tough fight for him. I think Gaethje has that power knockout. I also think that Hooker would be difficult. I don't think Hooker would beat him, but I think it'd be a difficult fight. There's a few matches that would be unstylistic for him. But I think that if he carries on the way he's going and the way he looks like he's going, and if it's the motivated Conor that was just wanted every fight, I mean, he was fighting so often, he was fighting anyone, anywhere. He was just doing. If we get that Conor back, I think we're probably looking at him going into that 170 top 3 as well. I think he'll be going straight towards them. If he wins this belt, he'll be going. And I think Usman's a horrible fight for him. And I think Usman would do what Khabib did to him and just demolish him on the floor. But yeah, I couldn't disagree with you with the McGregor, and I don't think that Figueiredo will lose that belt for a long time coming. I don't think that Volkanovski will lose for a while again. Izzy, I think he's very strong where he is. I think he's very strong until he fights Till and loses, but we won't go there. I think Izzy beats Jan. I don't know. I'll say there's loads of fights coming up, and I just think that the champions at the moment are worthy champions. And I think that John Jones and Stipe, that has to happen. That is just like I don't want it to be a Tony versus Khabib sort of thing that we'll never see.
I mean, I don't mind like not seeing it if Ngannou knocks out Stipe, but then again, a lot of people will be asking for a trilogy for that, because then Stipe's old one, because he won the first fight. But if it's like a brutal KO of Stipe when he fights Ngannou, then I wouldn't mind seeing Ngannou versus John Jones. I don't necessarily need to see Stipe versus Jones, but I just, for the sake, obviously, if Stipe beats Ngannou again, then they have to do Stipe Jones for sure. So I was gonna ask you one last thing just to kind of wrap it up. Let's talk about your Instagram. So by the way, I'm picking Izzy as well against Jan. I think we both got Izzy in that one. But yeah, how's your
Go on, sorry. I think it'll be difficult for Jan to get hold of Izzy. I think that distance he fights is such a great weird little style, isn't he? So I think it'll be very difficult to be hit, and I just think that I don't know. I just can't see Jan doing it, and I think Izzy will win and vacate, or does I don't know what he'll do with the belt, because I can't see him staying there and wanting to fight the like of Reyes and stuff like that. Because does he vacate then the middleweight? Do I mean, how do you keep, because he's stopping one division from going on? So I think it'll be a difficult. I think Costa needs to move up to light heavyweight as well. He's huge,
He's gigantic. Yeah.
So I think Izzy wins and then just goes, I've done what I need to do, sort of thing. John Jones, are you coming down to play with me or not? And John Jones will always say no. And he'd be like, well, there you go, you can have your belt back then. So I think that'll happen, to be honest with you.
Yeah, no, it's incredibly interesting. But yeah, so in terms of your Instagram, just maybe like, obviously I have your Instagram on the screen right now. You can follow him at Gathan Ellis Coaching. But how's your IG been doing performance wise, in terms of, like, I can see you were posting about your clients. I can see there's a little bit of growth. So you want to talk a little bit about your Instagram?
Do you know what? Last couple of months, I've changed it up a little bit. I've changed my audience a little bit from just being the fighters. So I'm working a lot more with, as I said at the start, a lot more with general public, helping as many people cut out the fad diets, cut out the bullshit, if you like. I mean, people are getting sold a lie, they're getting sold a quick fix, and listen, the way I see it, you didn't gain a stone in a night, you're not going to lose it in a night. Okay, I mean, it gradually happens over time. It's going to gradually come off over time, especially if you want to keep it off. So the growth for my Instagram at the moment has been like, it's rocket, to be honest. And all my followers, stuff like that. I mean, I've got time for every one of them. I'm talking like I've got thousands of followers here. I've never even hit 2,000 yet. But I mean, it helps, like, people share my content and people comment and like, and doing it helps, and it makes sometimes it worth. Sometimes I think like, oh, that's going to go off, that's going to bang, and you get like barely no replies. Like, Instagram algorithms, it's the algorithms.
Yeah.
But really, it's not. It's really not. It's just a terrible piece of content that I obviously thought that was better. And the more humorous sort of posts, they seem to do better, because I think people just at the moment just prefer a bit of humor with what's going on. So I do tailor it a little bit. It's different to what I'd normally, just because people need, with what's been going on and stuff, they don't want people preaching. And I mean, they don't want to see people doing workouts every day, and they want to see something different. So I think I do bring a little bit of difference to the game, in that sense. And even though I'm all jokey and fun and stuff on thing, when it comes to getting my clients goal, there is obviously the serious side where I'm like, this is what's happening, this is what we're doing. And to be fair, every single one of them's been absolutely smashing it. Doing this morning, one of the clients checked in his first week, 2.6 kilo down.
Wow.
I mean, you get first couple of weeks, you will see a faster loss, and that is just because a lot of water weight comes off as well. And obviously, you're eating better, you're eating cleaner, you're exercising a lot better as well. So there's a lot of factors to it. And I say, over the next however long, we're back in lockdown now. We're in another national lockdown for rumours going till end of March. So there's 12, was it nearly 8 weeks, 10 weeks? You can make a hell of a difference to your body in 10 weeks. 100%. Like, every single person, we can all sit at home and play the victim. Why me? Why is our government doing this to us? And why is this happening to us? But you could also go, do you know what? I'm going to use it as an opportunity to do something. If you're working from home or whatever, you've got an opportunity to cook better food because you're not spending an hour on the train or hour on the bus or an hour in traffic. You get more time to cook. If you're at home, you can go for more walks. You can I mean, I think there's a lot to it, and I think that a lot of people need to appreciate the smaller things now, and look after what's actually important, which is themselves. And yeah, I can go on all day talk about fad diets, and if you look at my recent post, I do have a little dig about it again, because they're selling a dream that isn't really a dream, and it's not sustainable. Over a couple of weeks, you might lose weight, but the principle will always stay the same. Why you've lost it. Them sachets are not magic, unfortunately. So, and a lot of people do, like the amount of people I've unfollowed and got rid of my social media over the last few days for posting these nonsense, really, because that's what it is. It's just doing it. If I said to someone, listen, you can go to the UFC tomorrow, no training, nothing, you go to the UFC, you're going to get found out. It's the same with weight loss. If you want a fast weight loss, eventually you're going to get found out. So you need to obviously put in the hard work, and people don't want to put hard work. They just want a quick result, don't they? So people want the result, but don't want to work hard to get there. So that's what lots is happening at the moment. And a lot of people are selling them that dream of, I can get you there in 20 day, what is it, like 21 day challenges. They do these juice cleansing things. It's just not eating as many calories as what you're burning. You know what I mean? That's the principle of it, and a lot of it misses out on it. And as I say, the training side of it, exercise, mental health side of it, it's important to keep yourself active, keep your steps in, keep drinking water. As you can see, I'm drinking a lot of water at the moment, a lot more than usual, to be honest with you, because I'm home. So I'm drinking a lot more water and trying to stay as active as I can, to be honest, as well, because I feel like I've got a responsibility to show others that I'm doing it, I'm preaching it to you, so I need to be doing it to myself as well. So, and obviously I can't do my jiu-jitsu anymore, so which I was hoping to compete this year, but it looks like that won't be happening until end of the year, hopefully. Which is one of them, isn't it?
Yeah.
You just gotta have to find something else to do and just keep active in a different way. So, but yeah, I'll say if anyone's got any worries, queries, anything with fitness related, let me know, and I'll help anyone that messages and that. And if you've got any worries about the fad diets or stuff like that, or not sure about certain products, just let me know and I'll be completely honest. If I think that you should do it, I'll be honest with you, and say some people benefit from certain supplements and stuff like that, and others don't. So it's one of them where you just need to be careful. Some oily snakes out there, let's say.
You're, like you said, there's no shortcuts even to like the Instagram growth, right? Like it's step by step, right? So yeah, anyways, thank you for all your time. Really appreciate it. Like I said, you can follow him on Instagram, right? It's Gathan Ellis Coaching. Did I say that correctly?
Gathan Ellis Coaching, yeah.
Yep. Yeah. And so you can also follow us on Instagram at MMA Brothers Pod. Guys, thank you very much for listening to this podcast episode. Gathan will always be back in the podcast. He's a regular now, so expect to hear him in the future. And
fight.
We'll
do it after the McGregor fight. We'll recap on that.
100%. We got to do it after the McGregor fight. All right, bro. Thanks for your time. We'll talk soon.
Thanks for listening to the MMA Brothers Podcast. We hope you enjoyed this episode, and if you did, please give us a follow on our socials. You can check out a description of this episode for more, but don't forget to connect with us on Instagram at MMA Brothers Pod. We'll see you on the next episode.